Jacob from Wager Me This here. This is Tootie, Jameson, whatever you guys want to call him. This is going to be Lay the Points, episode number 10, on our 10th episode of this. So far, so good, right? We're doing pretty well. Won again yesterday on both bets if you played them. We had Miami plus 4.5. That one worked out pretty well. And then we had Robert Williams over 7.5 points. He got to 8 points. He probably could have got to more than that. I know he missed a free throw, missed a couple other putbacks, but 8's good enough to beat 7.5. So there we go. Again, this is my son, my youngest son. I have an oldest son as well. You guys know Justice. But yeah, so today we got the Denver Nuggets playing tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers in the sweep game. I'm not going to put nothing out here on that game for that game. If you want that stuff, you got to buy my package at $25 a month, or just $25 for that game. I mean, you could just look at that one, but yeah. So if you want any information on that basketball game, I'll talk about it on here if you guys want to talk about it. I'm not going to give out any picks for that one because I gave out quite a few picks on my package, and I don't want to, interfere with the guys that pay me. But I do have a good one for you guys today. In fact, this is a really, really good play. Everything about it screams a winner. And let's jump right into our play for today. We're going to Major League Baseball. We're going to the Texas Rangers versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Texas is pitching Dane Dunning versus Ortiz. Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, Fuzzy? Dane Dunning versus Ortiz. Dunning is 4-0 with a .88 whip and has given up 0 home runs. He is an absolute out-getter. He's not a big strikeout guy, but he's an out-getter. He gets outs. He goes good distances in games. And Ortiz 0-2 with a .238 whip. This guy gives up, in 8 innings, he's given up a bunch, or 10 innings, or it's a very short amount of bench. But, Texas is 29-17, 13-9 on the road, and 16-10 as the favorite. Texas is one of the best teams in baseball, guys. Bruce Bochy has them going. They got their stud Seager back now. Once they get DeGrom back, they'll be like full strength. Texas is going to be a real contender as the season goes on. They're really good at the bat. Their lineup is really deep, and then they have a very solid starting pitching staff. Their relievers leave a little bit of desired, but Texas is a very solid, really good team. And Pittsburgh is kind of on the other way. They started out the season really, really hot and have really faded toward the end of the year, getting to the All-Star break and all that here. They just really have faded down the stretch here. They started out so hot. But again, I think Pittsburgh is just, the league is catching up to the rules. Pittsburgh may have been a little ahead of that. But so today, Texas is, if you give up the run and a half, -1.5, they're plus 120. If you take Texas on the first 5 innings, -0.5, they're -105. Both plays are really good, and I'm going to put both plays out here. I'm going to say take Texas in the first 5 innings, -0.5 at -105, and then I'm saying take Texas for the game, -1.5 at plus 120. Texas has scored at least 7 runs in their 3-game winning streak. Now, they were versus Colorado, but it was in Texas, not Colorado. I think they scored 7, 13, and 11 or something. They mashed Colorado. And that was Seager's first series back. Like I said, Pittsburgh's kind of going the other way, and Texas is keeping it hot. I don't think this game is going to be close, actually, guys. I actually think this is going to be a bashing. I think Texas will start out real fast because Ortiz isn't going to be able to do much with them Texas hitters. And I think Dunning will probably go 5 or 6 innings, likely without giving up a run. He's an out-getter. He really is. He gets outs. That's why he's 4-0, and he has that low whip, because he gets people out. He doesn't have to strike them out. He gets ground balls, and he gets lazy fly balls, and that's the kind of things he does. That's his pitching style. Like I said, he hasn't given up a single home run. That helps a lot. You're not giving up the long ball. It's a lot easier to manufacture outs when you're not giving up one hit that scores runs. And he hasn't given up a single home run this year. So I like this one. Texas -1.5 runs at plus 120. Good plus money bet there. And then Texas in the first five, minus -0.5 runs at -105. They're both really good value. I feel like they're both pretty easy winners. Again, the one reason I want to do the -1.5 is because Texas, let's say Texas starts slow with the bats and it's 1-1 in the fifth, and you miss that one. At least you have a chance to get it back on the -1.5. But I like them both a lot. Say hi, Tootie.
Hi.
Say, what's everybody up to?
I don't know.
You don't know what they're up to? Are you tired?
Yeah.
He's tired. But anyways, if you guys want to talk about anything else, just let me know in the comments. Peter B says hello, Tootie. Just let me know in the comments. We'll talk about whatever sport or craps or whatever. Yeah, it's been a good run for us. We've won quite a few out of the last 10 or so now. We've done pretty well. And again, the NBA playoffs have been good to us. We've really kind of been on them, and we've done really well with them. I do have some. I have a prop bet tonight that I really like. And like I said, you'll have to sign up at wagermethis.com. It's $25, guys. It's not like I'm breaking the bank here. If you've just played these live plays, you've made more than $25. So it's kind of like a free roll if you look at it that way. Again, wagermethis.com. Check it out. You get access to my Discord, which I give out live plays. Oftentimes, the live plays turn a day around. And I feel like anyone that's involved in the Discord can vouch for that, because there's some days that I didn't do so well during the write-up phase of it, but I get attached to an NBA game and I get some good reads on it, and I win 3 or 4 bets in a row just on one game live, and that usually helps us get profit in the day, or just adds to the fire sometimes. But definitely see things in game that you don't get to see, pre-game through statistics and stuff like that. And so that in-game, that live betting, and that access to that Discord is valuable, guys. And I feel like if you ask the people that are involved, they would definitely agree with that. I believe it's a very valuable tool. Plus, you get access to all the guys on there, and they're a good group. So they all over the country. So I mean, you get that access, which helps a lot too. There's guys that live in Hawaii to New York to Canada to, wherever else they live, all over the country. Just good spots, good stuff. Again, a lot of good opinions, a lot of good angles that I don't necessarily see. You are so tired, little boy. So tired. But he is wore out. You better go lay on mommy. But so, yeah. Or am I on Twitter? I am not on Twitter. Should I be? I don't really do anything except for YouTube and my one Discord thing. But the Discord's private, so you have to be a member of my sports betting. So
We're trying to branch out.
I'm just not. I'm not real techie guy, guys. I use my phone to make all my videos. I don't. I don't have intros and outros, and I'm on here just to give you guys the information that I got and try to get you guys some winners. All that other stuff I don't have a lot of involvement with, and I think I have a Twitter handle from one time we thought we were going to do that or something, but it's just another thing I got to keep up with, because I'm gonna give you guys a glimpse into my life. I have a full-time job. I'm a husband and a dad of 2 young kids. I'm remodeling my house. I semi help my son's baseball team as a coach, and I have YouTube and this sports betting stuff. So, like side stuff, I don't just have a lot of time for it. Yes, but I don't think you can get on it, NP. You have to sign up for it at my website. You have to sign up for the package, otherwise you can't get into it. As far as I know. But I don't know everything about it. So, some of you guys that are tech savvy could obviously probably get in. I don't know. But yeah, it's part of the package. It's part of the value you get for $25 a month is you get my takes on these live games, and you can ask me direct questions. When I suck, you can blast me for sucking right there directly. Plus, I'm available to everyone via my phone number. They can call me, they can text me, they can, I don't, I'm totally transparent. It's very different than I would say others. Totally transparent. give people all the access in the world to me. Obviously, I live in rural Arkansas, so I don't have a lot of people around me. But as far as the access to and guys, I feel like I'm pretty accountable for it. When I suck, I let people know. I let people when I'm making changes in betting style. I try to keep everyone up to date on what my thought processes are, and we have good debates on there and good you know honest stuff. Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm trying. Obviously the free picks are a highway and a path to me getting more people in my service. That's obviously what it's for, guys. But I also just like giving out the free picks. Before I had a subscription service, I was still giving out free picks. So I just like the handicapping side of it, and I like helping people win. I'm very very strong on. I want everybody to beat the casino. I don't want anybody to lose. I don't care what strategy you use. Guardians tonight. I don't know. I didn't really like the Guardians are one of the teams I tend to stay away from unless I'm looking at unders because they're so up and down, and I tend to stay away from them. But early on we were on them a little bit, but really if it's not no runs in the first inning or an under, I tend to kind of avoid them. I don't trust their bats and I don't trust their pitching. Okay, so that's a weird one, right? With the baseball and the softball, some books every now and then you can find books that handicap girls sports and other books don't. I don't know if it's something to do with the legalities behind it or something, but I've noticed that too. The women's sports are very, very underrepresented in the gambling world. Now, there are some books that do book them because I've seen it for the NCAA tournament for the women. I've seen it in different spots. But overall, I don't understand it fully either, why that's that way. Maybe they think it's easier rigged. I don't know. I'm not really sure on that. But I've seen that same thing. The understanding I don't really have on why women's sports are underrepresented in gambling. And it's really across sport. It's even in the pro sports. It's kind of underrepresented. Yeah. I would say that gambling is a man's overall thing outside of slot machines, right? I mean, most things you see at a casino that aren't a slot machine are filled with men most of the time. The sports books are always filled with men. The horse racing, where people are buying tickets, almost always men. So it's kind of a man's thing, I guess. But that's sad because my wife kills it when she gambles. I get that a little bit. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Um, but my wife gambles and she's pretty good at it. When she gambles, she tends to win. She hasn't lost very many times as all the times we've been gambling when she's actually gambling. So I think it's really underrepresented for women. Even in my, I do not do horse racing now for the Kentucky Derby. I did put out some bets, and actually a couple of them, and I got them from some of the guys I know. I didn't get them; they weren't my thoughts. They were some of the people I know, but one of them was actually a really good play. We had like the third place horse or something. A guy bet him to win play show. It was a good play. Obviously we didn't have Mage. We had Angel Empire or whatever, but as that was our pick. But I'm not a horse racing guy. Now I obviously live in the same state as Oaklawn, and I do know some horse racing people, but I don't personally do it much. Nice. Yeah, I understand how horse betting works. I understand it. I just do baseball and basketball and football and hockey a little bit now, and NBA and college. I have so much that adding horses in there that I'm going to have to learn about horses and trainers and jockeys and track conditions and all this stuff that you got to know for horse racing. I just don't have the time. You run out of time. I'm a one-man show essentially. Besides all the help I get on Discord. Honestly, the guys that pay for my package, they help me a lot on Discord. They have angles and they see injury reports and they do a lot for me that they don't even realize. But outside of that, I'm a one-man show. I do all my own research. I do all my own workups. I write it up every day. I do everything about my stuff I do myself besides the info I get from my Discord guys that help me a lot. So, yeah, it's all me. So I don't have no one to turn to when stuff goes wrong, and but also I don't have anyone else to shine light on when stuff goes right. So it's me and me only. And if you want to know why it's $25, I've got this question sometimes. Why is it only $25? I'll tell you why. Because I want to appeal to the guys that make $25 bets, that make $10 bets. I don't want to appeal to the guys that make $1,000 bets and $5,000 bets and stuff. They don't need me. They don't need my info. I want the everyday gambler guy. I want the guy that needs a little bit of info, needs a little bit of insight from more of a gambling expertise side of it, as opposed to, hey, I like Tom Brady's cleats today. Let's bet on him, and I'm a better understanding of how you win at gambling and stuff, especially with sports betting, because there's a very clear path to winning at sports betting. It's a pretty structured, validated path to winning at sports betting. Most of it is you got to keep your juice low, and you want to bet on, you use statistics to guide your bets. And when you start deviating from that and you start getting out there on whims and leans, and you're going to lose. But if you use statistics and you take the low juice bets or even the positive money bets, you start winning, and you win more often because you don't have to be as perfect. You don't have to win 7 out of every 10. You can win 5 out of 5 if you're betting all plus money bets and you're still profitable. And so there's a very clear path to being good at sports betting, and understanding how to pick the right plays. It doesn't always work. Obviously, it's still gambling, and you never know. A guy could have, had an argument with his girlfriend the day before he goes out there, and, he misses 15 shots. And even though the shots were there and the ability was there, Yeah, see, and I love the guys, because I don't gamble that big, not in the sense of gambling. I don't gamble big when I gamble. I don't make $1,000 bets and stuff like that. I don't do that. I'm not even gonna for a second act like I do that. So I'm trying to appeal to the everyday guy. Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to knock any of those guys like the odds jam and the arbitrage betting and stuff. But guys, the one thing about that is, so there's a lot of these fancy terms in sports betting, line value, or line shopping, all this kind of stuff. Guys that do that stuff, guys that's their main objective when they're handicapping. There's a couple things that go into that. Number one, they're not actually handicapping the sport; they're handicapping the number, the money line, or they're handicapping a line value, which is not handicapping the sport, which is different. So you have to have access to a lot of those type of accounts. You have to be able to use DraftKings and FanDuel and Bet Online and however many other ones you can be involved in to be able to make that work. A lot of guys like myself can't. Like Arkansas has 3 books. I can use a couple offshore books, and I have access through a certain pathway to DraftKings. But again, it's not, when you do that arbitrage style of betting, you're relying on numbers. You're relying on the odds makers being so good at it. You're relying on them to be being good at making odds, instead of relying on yourself or someone that studies the games to give you an angle on which side to be on. So I'm not saying those guys don't make money, because they do, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not as readily available to everybody as it is just picking a side or picking a total or betting a prop, and staying on one side of a bet. because a lot of times on those odds jams type bets too, you end up on both sides of bets when lines move, and you get plus money on both sides, which is fine. You're going to guarantee some profit, but overall, I don't think that's for everybody. Mainly because of access. Yeah, very high volume. You have to put out a lot of bets. Yep. It's very high access. You got to have a lot of access to a lot of things to make that work. I don't think it's necessary. I think a lot of the best gamblers in the world, as far as sports go, don't do it. They don't. It's not that they don't line shop and that they don't look for line value, but they don't necessarily play arbitrage. For the big gamblers and the people that really understand gambling at a real level, arbitrage is based a lot of times on future bets. Like, let's say right now we bet, I don't know, let's say the Denver Nuggets to win the series. Let's say we bet them to win the finals before the playoffs started. Now we would have probably got like what plus 1,100 or something than it was. Now we would be looking at our 11-1 bet with all these a very small amount of games, and we could use arbitrage at that point. Anytime that they were the favorite, we could bet the other side, essentially kind of on a free roll, because we have that 11-1 over our head. So there is arbitrage that gets used by people like myself, but it's generally built into futures. I don't do it now. I do it on Sunday night on baseball a lot of times, or Sunday night in football. Is I'll attach teams to 2 picks with the Sunday night side. And that way I can come back on the plus side of the bet later and get it both ways. As I win single legs of 2 picks, you attach them to them Sunday night games, and you got an avenue to gain some free money there. You have to hit the first legs though, so that's one of the styles, one of the little strategies I use pretty often. But anyways. I got to go get my other kid, guys. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for talking to me for a while. So let's recap really quick. We're going with the Texas Rangers today versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we're going Texas minus 1.5 on the run line. I got it at plus 120. And then we're going Texas first 5 innings minus 0.5 runs for the first 5 at minus 105 juice. So I'm looking to hit both of these bets. I feel really confident about both of these. Texas has just been mashing everybody, and they're getting their big bats back. And I feel like Pittsburgh's kind of going the other way, so this is a good spot to kind of hit some momentum as well as a nice little plus 120, hopefully. Anyways, you guys have a great day. This is Jacob from Wager Me This.
Do you think